Hey, Jeff. How are you? Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Ugh. Bang on there as well. Eh?
Roy doesn't come anymore, but we'll ask this question on his
On his behalf.
He's outsourcing, is he?
He sent one in.
Nice.
Oh, Brett Cronin. Yeah. We're just finding out that it's Stephen Hope was.
Okay.
Why?
Oh, well, he's the one that missed that one.
Oh.
Alright, ready to go? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, no, you can.
Okay, what it is, like, anyway, what do you make of that?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, look, it's a good win. I think there was a lot of good signs there. Us, being critical as is our nature, we'll look back at that and probably say we probably should have come away with a bonus point. But look, that being said, this first stretch has thrown us a few curveballs, and we've come away pretty proud, very proud of what our team's done and how we've stuck together. And I think we showed signs there tonight that behind the scenes we've got a good thing going here, and we're working hard for each other. So yeah, I guess ultimately positive. There's always things to work on, but I think we're going to enjoy actually having a bye week in Melbourne, which will be nice for everyone.
I know you weren't out there, but were the players aware at the bonus point that they need to do?
Yeah, guys were aware. Look, the Tars aren't like they're a good team, and they can punish you. So I don't think it's a case of taking the foot off the throttle or anything like that. It's just how it works sometimes. So.
Just with that last try, did you have any idea what was going on there? Or?
Jeff, I was actually coming down the elevator to be in the tunnel, so I haven't actually seen it yet, to be honest. The message to the guys was to try to scrum to penalty there, so that we could try to kick to the corner or use the ball to try to score and get the bonus point. That's what we were trying to do with it. So I don't know. I believe the ball spilt out and they picked it up and went through. But yeah, and I think probably to echo what Pup said, we've come away from this block almost exactly what we aimed for in the block in terms of log points and all that sort of stuff. And I think that's really nice. But probably the thing that's actually really made me most pleased is just as Pup said, just the care that the team have for each other. You can see that in the way that we perform. It's all the little things that we're doing that you can't really measure, or and they're just doing that because they care about the group, they care about representing the state, all that sort of stuff. And that's really nice.
Has the fly come at a good time, or would you prefer to keep the momentum going?
Yeah, well, Pup phoned me yesterday and asked for an extra day off, so I don't know if it's old age or what, Pup.
We made a deal.
I said I'll think about it. So we'll see.
It always comes at a good time.
That's right. Yeah.
Is that why you're getting the rest after?
To be honest, I mean, it does come at a good time, because I think one of the things when you're travelling, let's say for example in Perth, we had to go 30 minutes from the city to Cottesloe to train, and then we had another 30 minutes to go to Waste to do gym. So by the time you've done that round trip in your day, it's kind of an hour and a half, 2 hours of in the car driving. That's in addition to all the stuff that you would normally do during your day, and you're doing that for 5 weeks in a row. It does start to fatigue you a little bit, and I was probably quite worried about that in Perth last week. I felt that the energy of the group was a little bit flatter, just because with all the extra stuff that was on the tour. So to be home and to train sit in your own locker and sit at my own desk and do all of that stuff has been just a great lift for the boys this week. So the energy was really great from the start of the week. Sorry, Mel.
I was going to say this contract's Matt's age, but it didn't get his form, I guess. He's never been playing better.
He's not that old, is he?
Yeah, let's say, hey, come on. Yeah. I'm off contract. Don't be throwing things out like that.
Yeah.
I guess he's game management.
Yeah, look, and I think, as I said out there, Pup will be the first to tell you. There's a lot of guys in our team that help, that support him. I think Haji's been outstanding in that area. I think Marika, the chief, has been, he's playing really well on field, but he's also just doing a lot of stuff for us off field that's probably a little bit new to him, but he's just made a real impression. And Wellesley's probably the same with the forwards. There's a bunch of guys that are really doing a lot of good work. Last week against the Force, we had a moment where we turned the ball over under the poles. Glenn Vahu strips Lee Warner. That was something that Brad Wilkin, who's not in the playing group, showed to the team as an opportunity the week before. We stripped the ball exactly in the way that Brad Wilkin planned, and then at the next scrum we sent only 3 clips to the referee before the game, and one of them was about their loose head bringing his shoulder under at the scrum, and at the next scrum, crucial scrum of the game, we got a penalty for exactly that. But that came because the guys put the work in before the time. Some of those guys not even playing, obviously the moment is important, but I think it's the work that's been done through the week that we're proud about, and also contribution for guys that are not even on the field.
So speaking of the guys that aren't playing, are you looking to get some back in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, there are a few coming back. Fortunately, obviously Geordie came back tonight, which was great. Matt Gibbon was back after he had double shoulder surgery, so to have him back was great. Gerald Skelton's becoming available quite soon. Louis Holland's becoming available quite soon. Campbell Magna is probably not too far away. Isina Sarani's probably not too far away. Cameron Orr tells me he's not too far away, although the medical's a little bit more reserved with him. But it's going to be nice to have some of those more experienced players start to come back. Yeah, it's a crazy thing, Mel. Like, there's quite a lot of guys who have quite a few caps for us now that have never played at AAMI Park. Trev's one of them. I mean, Ando would have never played here. Lockie Anderson, Tom Pincus never played here. Josh Kemeny, I don't think he's probably played here. And then there's obviously a few guys in the front row. Lucio would have never played here. Stacey Illy's never played here, our centre. I'm trying to think, but there'd definitely be others. But yeah.
What's he sort of brought to the side with Matt going? Like, he's obviously, really, I guess, at home, and he's obviously, he's improved so much in the last 12 months.
Yeah, he has. I mean, Trev's a very big personality off the field. That's probably the first thing. He's a fun guy to be around. He enjoys his rugby, enjoys being around the team. And you forget how young he is still, So like if you think about how he's improved in the last 12 months, if we can help him to do that in the next 12, I think he could be something really special. And we're really proud of the fact, obviously, that he's from Melbourne. We have, I think there's 9 players in the team today that are from Melbourne. That's a hell of a number, because in 2017 there was only 1. So we've gone from 1 to 9 in a space of a few years. And young guys outside of this group, young Isaac, who hurt his shoulder last week, the young Lou said he's also from Melbourne. Josh Canham. There's a couple of guys just on the fringes of the team that are going to come through. So it's going to be really special to have a team quite soon. I think that's the majority homegrown guys, which is obviously something that we're hoping to achieve.
How hard have you been working on your defensive discipline? You're under pressure a few times in the first half, and there was no offside penalties at all until the second half. So
yeah.
Is that something you're pretty pleased with?
Yeah, look, Kevin Foot's our defence coach. I just think he's done a really good job there. Like we're a difficult team to break down. We invest a lot of time in it, but I guess the old adage about defence is really that it does come down to like how much you care about the guy next to you, and do you trust the guy next to you to do your job. And I think that's the feeling around that in the group's pretty high at the moment. So we're getting, we're leveraging that in a really nice way. And
Matt, I want to ask you about tonight. You're able to bring some of the backline guys into the play more, like Stacey Illy and Tom Peters got a lot more of the play tonight, and they seem to be growing in confidence. Something you've been trying to develop?
Yeah, definitely. Look, they were still quite active in the first few games as well. We probably didn't end up with the tries. But they've definitely, Tom and Stacey, I think they had their best game tonight for sure, and I think that is probably as a result of confidence. Both guys, while starters at Super, are very new to this level. We know from training with them that they're more than adepts, and they're very, very talented players. So it's quite exciting. to know, because I know they've got a lot more in them as well. A guy and Trev's a great example. Like, yeah, he's come a long way, but I tell you what, he's only halfway. He can be a special player, that guy. So that's a really exciting thing, I think, is that we're not surprised that guys like Stacey and Tom and Trevor are playing well and are starting to build, because they've been putting in the hard yards behind the scenes. So yeah, we continue to do that, keep using that formula, and we'll hopefully get more and more out of each other.
It must be nice to, I mean, I wasn't going to try yourself, but it would be particularly sweet that the try that Lachlan Anderson scored, like, first phase, is that something you might practice in?
Yeah, look, I thought we were really really good first phase today, particularly first half, in terms of we had a really good plan. Like, our coaches had a really good plan about how they were going to defend, and I thought we did that well. And once again, that kind of comes down to a lot of backroom staff, a lot of guys who aren't playing, watching how they do and give us pictures during the week. So it's not often at this level that you get first phase tries or even line breaks. But I think you could probably look at that and say, we had the right plan out there, and yeah, it's nice to be a part of.
Yeah, I think also probably the pleasing thing for me on that was that we didn't think our starters were good in Perth. Well, they weren't good in Perth. We turned over a lot of first phase ball, and we put it on the list of things we wanted to get better at this week. And I feel like almost every week we've got better at one or two things that we've isolated and worked on. And so the team's built nicely in that way. And then, as Alex Ferguson always used to say, the Premier League's not won by Christmas, So we've got to just make sure that every week we're getting a little bit better, and start building as much momentum as we can towards the back end of the year.
Dave, I just want to ask you about at halfback. Last year there was a lot of kicking from base at halfback, and tonight I don't think Joey kicked once. So has that been a conscious thing in terms of your game plan, or is that just because he's a different type of player?
Joey's got 2 left feet, so doesn't help.
No, I mean, no, not really, Jeff, to be honest. I think these two guys just organise that on the field, depending on what the platform is. Probably we haven't kicked a lot from more first phase. It's obviously an area where the 9 would kick a lot, but I think that's just the way the game unfolds.
Awesome, thanks guys.
Great guys, thank you.
Thank you very much.